Hey Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Cubs split a doubleheader with the Cardinals. They get a nice little shutout win in the first game, and then they get blown out in game 2. We'll talk about both. We'll sweat it out. A little hot in studios tonight. And Cody's here.
Yeah, we're
Pat
here.
Foley, Ryan Herrera's at the ballpark. He might join us if he gets a chance. Listen, the vibes aren't real high.
We're here, Luke. We're here.
The vibes aren't real high after this last game.
It's actually kind of nice to be in Studio B, even though like it is so much hotter in here.
It is.
But
I do want to talk about the first game. I want to do it in chronological order. So we'll talk positive first. However, before we get to that, I can't let any more time go by. I know this is a crusty old take. When you're up 13-3 on the road in the 9th inning, you don't pinch hit Albert Pujols. I don't care how many career home runs he has and you're trying to get him. It's lame.
Yeah.
And I do believe, whether they will say it or not, they said, Franmil, you're our biggest guy. Go out on the mound and plunk him on the third pitch.
Perhaps.
And that's that's what he deserved. Because he had a chance to strike him out.
Yeah.
He had perfect control in the first 2 pitches.
I think it was their way. Let me start over. I think in a way it was their way of getting back at the Cubs for hitting 2 of their players. That included Nolan Arenado, I think, in the 7th or the 8th inning. And going into the bottom of the 8th, I was like, especially with the way Arenado reacted, I was thinking, okay, maybe they will throw at Morel or someone.
Right? You were worried that
it was Morel, Madrigal, and Ortega that were due up in the bottom of the 8th, and I don't know, like. Listen, the unwritten rules of baseball are stupid, even though I like to celebrate Keegan Thompson, but that was more so because of what he did. He was sticking up for a player. This is just like whatever. Like I don't think anyone really thought that Anderson Espinoza was trying to purposely hit Cardinals players when they're up or when they're down 13-3 or whatever the score was at the time. So if it's their way of getting back at the Cubs because they are tired of our guys hitting them, even though it was clearly an accident. I'm just glad no one got hurt if that's the case, because like that sometimes that happens, but it is in a way. I'm with you. I do think it's kind of like
it's kind of lame.
It's kind of lame.
You're trying to get this historic mark of 700 career home runs, and you're going to say, hey, 694 was off Franmil Reyes.
Right.
In a 13-3 game at Wrigley. Like
he had him down 0-2. I was hoping
it would have been funnier if he struck him out. Yeah.
I was rooting for the strikeout, and then he actually did strike out. He hit 90 miles per hour on one of those pitches. Like that guy looked like he could be a 2-way.
Yeah, he didn't hit whatever he hit Pujols with. It wasn't hard. I'd have preferred the 90 in the square of his back.
Yeah.
Pujols seemed to kind of laugh it off at first base.
And I guess Reyes, like, the way he reacted after it happened, like, he didn't try to do it.
Or it was good acting, one of the two. At the end of the game, I don't know if it meant anything or not, but you did catch a shot of Contreras kind of looking over at the Cardinals and then Patrick Wisdom looking over and kind of shaking his head. Whether he was just disappointed in the loss or just kind of like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, 13-3. Can we all get out of here?
All right.
Do you need to have your special home run? Okay, anyways. That's my mini.
I'm with you. I think it's
my mini.
dumb.
It was lame.
Absolutely dumb.
Game 1, on the other hand, Javier Assad, four innings, no runs. Pleasant surprise. Another guy I hadn't heard of, and we talked about it in the post-game show yesterday, talked just about like, Listen, he's if you take a look at the Cubs pitchers in the farm system and you rank them 50 innings or more, his numbers are as good as a lot of those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't really have much expectations for Assad going into today's game.
Against Wainwright?
Yeah, and going up against arguably the best offense in baseball in the second half of the year, or like post All-Star break at least. I mean, the fact that he was able to go into the fifth inning was pretty impressive to me. I think there's a lot to build for him for that. And it just goes to show that the Cubs farm, in terms of the pitching infrastructure, is like no one wants to give the front office some credit for doing anything to fix that yet, because the Killians and the Wisniewskis haven't came and shoved it down people's throats for 30 starts. But we've seen it all season, whether it was a reliever or just some guys who made some spot starts. I mean, never forget the Matt Schwarmer era. I mean, he won a few games for the Cubs. Like, I whatever they're doing down there, man, it's becoming very impressive. And when this team is good again, it's gonna be, or not it, but they are gonna be a problem, as in like the arms. And I say it all the time, Luke. I just wish we had something like this whenever it was 17 and 18 and 19, because maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. But hey, they're fixing the situation, and it's taken some time. But I think, we can sit here and pander into who should be in the rotation and who should be in the bullpen and this and that. And it's just like, at this point, they have so much depth that, like, at least you can hang your head on that, knowing that, like, there's an injury next year or something. Like, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world unless it's like a Stroman or a Steele or something like that. But still, like, they've had some really, really nice appearances from all kinds of dudes across the board this year.
It's the only reason they're not going to reach 100 losses.
Yeah.
That pitching depth has been there enough already to show you and keep you in some games. Like, they traded away their 4 best relievers, and yet you then have guys. Michael Rucker's kind of stepped up and done a decent job. Like, he's the one that got Assad out of it in this game. And
right.
And afterwards, I know Ross kind of praised him, was like, I like the job by Assad, but real impressive what Rucker did.
Rucker saved his day, honestly, because when Rucker came in, the Cardinals had 2 on and no outs with Goldschmidt and Arenado coming up.
Yeah.
I live bet the Cardinals at that moment, because I was like, this is where I get hurt again. And then Michael Rucker came in and shoved it down their throats. And, credit to him. I know he's been a frustrating player. He's got an ERA over 4. I get it. There's times where he looks like just a guy out there to eat innings, and there's times where you're like, man, this guy has some potential. Today, like I just said, he went through the heart of the Cardinals lineup and got the Cubs out of a big spot and allowed them to keep the lead, and they end up throwing a shutout for the team combined. And again, against the best offense in the second half this year. I don't care what the record is for the Cubs. Like, the fact that they did that is impressive, and it does give me some hope for the future.
If anybody would know it, you would know this, but I would assume the Cardinals were a huge favorite in Game 1 on PointsBet.
They were.
With Wainwright going against a guy you've never heard of.
They were like minus 200 on the money line. So if you put $200 down and they had won, you would have won $100. So yeah, they were huge favorites in Game 1, and they didn't work out. So that's Game 1 is one reason why I'm really just kind of whatever about tonight's game. Like, I'm just glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't get swept today on their home diamond with this team here and their miserable fan base.
Well, what's the march to 63? Where are we at now?
What they got?
We single digits yet?
I think we're at 10.
Yeah, there are 53 wins.
All right.
10
away. Magic numbers
53
10.
and 70.
Okay.
Magic numbers 10. I mean, they had gone 24 innings, giving up just 1 run to the Cardinals before they finally got to Sampson. You could kind of see it. You said you're like, they're hitting them hard. We're kind of getting fortunate here. But it was a pretty good stretch of the Cardinals offense went silent. I give some of that credit to young Cubs pitching.
Yeah. I don't have the box score from game 1 today, but who pitched today? It was Assad, Rucker, Sean Newcomb came in.
Hughes got the save.
Brandon Hughes came in and he didn't even
Newcomb pitched for the second straight
inning.
Newcomb
Hughes,
2 games in a row.
I think Brandon Hughes is probably, by the end of the year, we'll probably look at him and be like, this guy's a dude. Like, he's really emerging as a guy in that bullpen.
I don't see how there's a way, unless there's something going on, that he's not part of the bullpen next year.
Right. And what's impressive about that is, that guy used to be an outfielder.
Right.
I just look at this bullpen right now, and there's no one. They traded those guys away. I don't look at anybody on this roster right now that was going to be their for sure closer next year, or really has closer potential. I'm going to be honest, though. That's my only critique at the moment.
And that's fine. Eric Ullman also pitched today, and I think he has back end of the bullpen type stuff. I don't know if he can be a closer, but I do think he has back of the bullpen type stuff. And I'm with you, Kevin. I don't know if they have that closer type. I mean, it's hard to find the Josh Haders of the world or the any other guys.
Yeah, and I don't know
the Helsleys if you're going to talk about the
Nick
Cardinals.
G with a good comment here. Cody Hoyer. I always kind of forget about him.
He's the guy you would think of. I don't know how fast he comes back from Tommy John, but eventually at some point next season he's in the mix. It's another reason why they felt comfortable dealing away some guys. Alzolay apparently just threw again in Arizona, and David Ross said, they'd like to get him on the mound before the end of the season.
Right. Steven says Cam Sanders, who, they started using him as a bullpen guy in Iowa, and he's been touching 98, 99. Yep. Lucas says Jeremiah Estrada and Daniel Palencia. Those guys, I think Estrada is in Iowa, Palencia is in South Bend, I think, or maybe he's in Double-A Tennessee. I don't know, but Palencia, I've seen a lot of tweets about him in terms of his potential. Came back in the Andrew Chafin trade last year. Throw was 100.
And a proven closer only really matters on a playoff team. Let's be honest. That's it's another reason they traded away those guys. It's like you would have liked to seen them come back next year, some of them, but I don't know. Yeah. You don't. That's the last thing you need to figure out as closer.
Yeah, at this point, I think that what the Cubs have done over the years, they have just kind of figured it out. But now that they have all this just a ton of dudes coming around, I feel like they can just figure it out. And you know what else they'll do? In the offseason, they'll go pick up some vets.
Yeah, right.
And they won't spend any money to get them either, because they've created a reputation of being able to
save
fix
a guy.
Guys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They're the pitch doctor after Brendan Miller. They're the pitch doctors who Brendan's right away. Brendan's on there. Fran Mill's spin rate suggests he could improve in the pitch lab.
Absolutely.
Closer, cleanup hitter potential.
You talked me into it, Brendan. Let's see what he got. Touching 90, striking out Paul DeYoung. Looking
gonna be tough to top that comment tonight.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Yeah. The pitching in game 1 was awesome, and like I said, it gives me a lot of hope. I thought the pitching even tonight was not as bad. I mean, Sampson comes out, and who came in for him? Oh yeah, it was Nicholas Palencia or Padilla, which, let's just be real, major league debut. You're coming in, Cubs Cardinals. There's 2 guys on, I was actually kind of mad that he brought him in that situation. If you're making your major league debut, come in, give him a clean inning at least. I don't know.
It's tough.
I'm more hopeful for his next outing. Hopefully he comes in a clean inning. Maybe it's more low leverage. I don't know, but it's 5-0 after that, and then I thought Espinoza was okay until the 8th, 9th inning, whatever it was. Whenever we talked about at the beginning with Pujols and stuff. So. Offense has not been good the last couple games, but pitching continues to show some signs of growth, and at least we got that. Yeah,
we keep seeing that and hearing that stat that they have the second best ERA in baseball since the All-Star break. What do you attribute that to, and are you buying that stock?
Well, obviously we're saying since the All-Star break, so you got to add in some of those innings that the relievers that they moved.
Yeah.
But the starting pitching actually has been pretty good. Justin Steele has an ERA
Stroman's been much better.
Yeah, him and Stroman their ERAs since the All-Star break have been great. You know, Sampson not tonight, but Sampson's I'm not even mad at Sampson. He's been good. We didn't expect anything from him. Drew Smiley is we were just talking last night how we were saying that teams are wishing they should have traded for him. You know, like he shoved 7 innings down their throats last night. Like I don't know. Like the starter's definitely been a big part of that. Relievers, it was a work in progress, especially right after the trade deadline. But they have had some nice innings. Brandon Hughes, like I said, has been really, really good. Yeah, he's given up some runs here or there, but every reliever does that. And unfortunately, a lot of them have been in high leverage spots. But that's the thing is he's only coming in high leverage spots. So he's earned that trust with David Ross, and I love that. One, because he's left-handed. And I feel like for years we were sitting here wondering, like, where can the Cubs find that left-handed reliever?
Never could find one.
I mean, they thought Daniel Norris was going to be that. And that clearly didn't work out. You know what I mean? Yeah, get him in the pitch lab, right? And so, outside of Andrew Chafin last year, I mean, they hadn't really had one. Right. And to me, he's at least putting himself in contention to be a 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy next year. But again, you gotta remember, like, there's gonna be more growth going into spring training. They're gonna give guys chances, like they did Ethan Roberts this year. Unfortunately, Tommy John happened to him, but like there's so many guys, and there's gonna be more coming too. So I'm excited to see who else they give a shot to.
I think Kurt and Sean in the chat just nailed it, especially Kurt saying, don't think they have the second best pitching in major leagues, but buying the fact that the Cubs pitching infrastructure has improved. Agreed. Like, I'm buying that second best ERA since the All-Star break. I'm buying that stock, but I'm not investing my 401k in it.
Yeah.
I'm buying small pieces of it. I believe in it, but I'm also not going to risk everything and say, yes, this is 100%, because some of what we were talking about during the game, pitching's just a funny thing. Like, I do believe in what they're doing. It seems like they've figured out how to develop a bullpen. Seem to have a formula, turn guys around, as you mentioned. Yeah. I do think guys are developing. Steele seems to be developing. Thompson, before the injury, seems to be developing. I just don't want to go face first into the water. I'm going feet first into the water. I'm jumping in, holding my nose like this. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm like the little kid. I'm plugging the nose and I'm going in feet first. I'm afraid to dive in yet because you look at the other side of town, and if last year you would have said, Giolito's the ace. Giolito's the ace. Now the guy seems like he's back to the commercial where they were saying worst pitcher in baseball. Like, it's flipped again. And Cease was the guy that couldn't quite put it all together. Now Cease is their guy.
Right.
Lance Lynn can't, like,
the only
pitching is funny. It's very rare when you get it to work like the Braves did back with Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz. Like, that's just not.
This is what I'll say to clap back at that in terms of, like, at least for the Cubs at this point, is that I just think that their player development is significantly better than the White Sox. Like, we've seen,
we hope so.
Like Eloy Jimenez can't stay healthy, and when he does play, like, has he lived up to 40 home runs a year yet?
No, but and the Cubs did develop their guys enough to get them to win a World Series, but they didn't develop them beyond that point. Like,
for sure.
Right? Like,
no, there's problems with the Cubs player development, or at least there's reason to.
There were. We don't know.
Criticize it, but like, the White Sox haven't shown enough years of continued success to even.
I'm just saying, like, that's another pitcher that I am familiar with. There's other teams that you could take the same example. I'm not necessarily comparing the Cubs to the Sox. I'm just saying, look at a guy that I think everybody was pretty confident was a ace.
Yeah.
And a year later, you're like, I don't know if he was an ace.
Right. Well, he was for a few years. It's just
but why?
This year's definitely been a.
And why is he not now?
Oh,
well, those are other
sticky stuff. Isn't a thing
there's
anymore.
other questions out there. I don't know the answers. Man. I'm just saying, like, I'm buying the stock. I like what I see, but I'm not blindly going to say the Cubs are going to have the best pitching in baseball next year. Like, I'm not going that far.
And I'm not saying that every single one of these prospects that are relievers are going to come up and, like, be great. I mean,
right. Or even Killian, who did better in his minor league appearance tonight.
Right. Only 2 walks tonight. But there's just something about like what we've seen, what we've read, what we're seeing on the minor league front this entire year. Like the Cubs are having success at every level this year, every single level. And to me, that gives me optimism in thinking that, if they can continue to do this, and the fact that I think the scouting is so much better. I know this team isn't good, but think about what they've been able to do as far as scouting the last year and a half in terms of just finding some dudes to play. Like,
I've done a great job.
Right. Like Patrick Wisdom is like a great example of that. You know what I mean? And then there's some guy like especially on the reliever front, they've been able to do that. You know what I mean? But if you have a good team and then you continue to do that, you're gonna have those stories of the Frank Schwindel's coming up out of nowhere and lighting the world on fire in a second half and carrying you for, if you have a good team, into the postseason or something. Last season doesn't matter because the team wasn't good or whatever. But like,
right.
That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is like the scouting. If you continue to be able to find ways to do that, you'll have those random stories of like, who the fuck is that guy? And why the hell is he having OPS over 850 in the month of August when I've never heard of him and he's spent his entire career in the minor leagues? Like I'm just saying, if they continue to do what they do on top of continue to develop the guys they already have and then actually add some free agents, like they really can become a well-oiled machine, something like what the Cardinals have always been my entire life.
Well, Garrett's saying, Cubs pitching development in the chat, he's saying will be on the Cleveland Dodgers level very, very soon. I can't go that far, but I like the positivity. I'm just saying I'm not ready to jump headfirst into the pool yet.
I could say maybe Cleveland just because Carter Hawkins has ties there,
right.
You know what I mean?
Listen, it looks good.
Right.
You like what you see. But don't go crazy yet.
Pump the brakes.
Sure.
Yeah. And there's, I agree.
And I don't want to kill your buzz. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I don't really have a buzz. I'm just saying that I think that
that's just heat stroke, Cody.
Yeah. I'm just really hot right now in this hot studio. I just think that there's definitely a lot of optimism to look at, and when the Cubs decide to spend, then you really can really be optimistic. So, keep saying it. Big offseason ahead. No one wants to believe it. No one wants to, think that they're going to actually do anything. I don't see why they shouldn't.
What did you bet on tonight?
Oh, God. I had 3 bad beats today. The Cubs hit parlay in game 1, missed by one leg. Nico Horton didn't get a hit. I had an MLB hit parlay tonight. Francisco Lindor didn't get a hit. And then tonight, Suzuki and Franmil get a hit in the 8th inning. But I had Lars Nootbaar in it, and the Cardinals took him out in the middle innings. Just
you got Nootbaar.
Yeah. Well, he's a Cubs killer because he's a creative player with that kind of name. Anyway, I lost all my money on PointsBet tonight, guys. If you're not using PointsBet, you too can lose money on PointsBet like me. PointsBet Sportsbook is counting down the days until the football season with a new offer every day until the season kicks off. From now until September 8th, PointsBet Power Hour will unlock a new daily offer from 12 to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sign up for PointsBet now using code CHGO to also get risk-free bets up to $2,000. Don't miss out on your chance to get daily access to free bets, boosted odds, and so much more now through September 8th. But that's not it. If you make a $51 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. Download the PointsBet app today and use code CHGO to take advantage of this limited-time offer. Don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling referral services.
Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. Started taking AG1 because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, and an optimized immune system. Now I've been taking it for months, and I love it. Today I was a little sluggish in the morning, woke up, and I thought, you know what? Going AG1. It's not super healthy tasting. It's mild. It's a tropical taste. I look forward to taking it in the morning. Here's what it is. 1 scoop of AG1. you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to start your day right. A special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all those things. I get a noticeable boost of energy, so that's why I take it first thing in the morning. Starts my day off, right? Giddy up, there I go. Lifestyle friendly too. Doesn't matter if you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free. You're all good with AG1, and you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. Recommended by professional athletes, it has more than 7,000 5-star reviews. That, you heard me correctly, 7,000 5-star reviews. So right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. You don't need a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Again, athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. So what do you think of Pat Foley? We had him for a few innings. I thought that was fun.
He was in there longer than I thought. It was like, what is it, like the third inning?
Well, the game dragged on.
Yeah. Was it the third through the seventh?
Yes, fourth through the seventh, I think. Yeah,
it did feel like forever.
I think I enjoyed a lot of what Pat was saying. I was also hoping that the score was going to be tree, and a lot of different things. I loved some of his Hawk stories. I loved his baseball team built with Blackhawks players. That was fun. But the line of the night, although Pat had good ones, was still JD saying, Pat, it sort of feels like the Cardinals are on a power play here when they started to get to Sampson.
Yeah.
I thought they had good chemistry together. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. No, he, like I said last night, I've never been like a hockey guy. So Pat Foley doesn't like.
Well, that's his bit. His bit is always tree, and a turd.
Right.
Tree left.
I was waiting for somebody to get the save. And a save by Michael Rucker.
Yeah.
Something like that goofy.
Anyway, I asked the Twitter people on CHGO Cubs Twitter account, if you don't follow it, you should. I asked people how they felt about Foley, and most of the people that replied said that they enjoyed it. And to me it was just another game, but I'm glad that most people enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a couple innings.
Right.
I mean, it was something different. I've had enough people going in and out of the broadcast booth. Why not Pat Foley, Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Right. And his
legendary
stretch
Pats.
was fun too.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I see Ryan Herrera is ready to join us early. It's been a long day out at the ballpark, huh?
Yeah. Let's make this quick.
He's ready to go home.
All right. Before we get to what was said after the game, real quick, did you see that the MLB pipeline now has the Cubs farm system number 10 in baseball? They haven't been in the top 10 since 2015, right? So that's, I know that's just one place's opinion, but when you look at the graphic and see how they've ranked these farm systems since 2015, you see a lot of teams that have done very well at the top. You see the Braves with like a 4 or 5 year stretch at the top. You see the Orioles now good for like 3 years. You see the Dodgers hanging around the top. The most disappointing part of the whole thing is that the Dodgers are still number 2.
Yeah.
With all those guys that they have on their roster, they're still the number 2 farm system. So, but it is a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what we talked about? Like the Cubs want, like if they want to be the Dodgers, they have to be competing for division titles and championships every year while also having one of the best farm systems. Like that's the goal for this franchise. But yeah, no, it's definitely good, and I think we've kind of seen it. Like the Cubs don't have like that top 20, top 25 prospect right now. Maybe maybe Brendan Davis and Pete Crow Armstrong kind of jump up there again next year, but. Right now, probably don't, but they have the depth, especially the pitching depth that they haven't had in a long time. But then, you even look down at South Bend today. I know Brennan was, he's on a rehab assignment, but it's him, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Owen Casey in the outfield. They're a high A. They're not, it's not double A, not triple A. Like they're in high A playing in the same outfield together. Like that's like a potential outfield of the future. So when you look at it, even though they don't have that superstar can't miss prospect like Chris Bryant was back in 2014, 2015, like they have a lot of good solid players who could be big contributors at this level, and even if they're not superstars, like they'll be good players, and that's how you build the foundation. And then we keep talking about like you build that foundation, and then you go out and get those superstars because you are the Chicago Cubs and you have the money to do that. But if you have a good foundation, good depth in your system, that just supplements all the other moves you might make in free agency or in trades or whatever it is, because you have the resources to do that. You're one of the biggest revenue teams in the major leagues. Like you have the ability to do that. It's just having the right development system and the right infrastructure in the minor leagues to make sure you're keep chugging or churning prospects out that can compete at the highest level.
Do we think that the Cubs are sort of protecting Killian, who threw tonight in the minor leagues, and also Wesneski by throwing a journeyman like Farrell in the game tomorrow? Is that possible that that's what's going on? I mean, it's not like they're trying out Farrell for a future spot on the roster, right?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's, they have a lot of 40-man decisions.
Yeah.
Like that for as far as Rule 5 draft stuff goes. And so they already know that they're going to protect Caleb Killian and protect Hayden Wesneski, this offseason. And they know that those guys they're going to protect them. They're going to have them on the 40. So I think it's just these other guys that are kind of fringe that they don't know for sure and want to get that look at before, while they still have time in the season. So when it comes down to the Rule 5 draft, do they need to protect any of these guys for next year, or can they let them enter the Rule 5 draft and see if they stick with the organization, or if another team claims them, right? Like that's I think that's what's going on here. I don't think it's, I mean, yeah, it would have been a good spot to have either of them come up, especially considering Killian's already on the 40-man. Like it would have been just another move that had to be made. But I think it's just, if just in my gut or my opinion, I think it's more that some of these guys like like an Assad or Luke Farrell tomorrow, like these are fringe guys, want to figure out whether they want to keep them on the 40-man roster or not, protect them from the Rule 5 draft, and then if not, kind of move on or see if they stick around past the draft.
Well, I don't have a lot of faith in Luke Farrell hanging around, so I don't blame people for wanting to see Hayden Wesneski. They will eventually have to bring up Wesneski this year because he is Rule 5 eligible. So for everyone who is, clamoring and upset that he's not pitching tomorrow, like I'm pretty optimistic that we'll see him. I mean, it'd be really dumb for them to not do that.
I don't think
correct, Ryan. Is that how it works?
I don't think they have to.
We don't have to bring him up to protect him.
No, because he's already on the roster. Okay. So yeah, you have to protect him in the offseason. So when DFAs or all that kind of stuff goes, is when they'd have to protect him before the Rule 5 draft. Now, if another team were to, if he were to go unprotected and another team picked him, then they'd have to put him on the active roster like that. I think that's kind of what you're mixing up there a little bit. Like they don't have to.
I don't understand this roster stuff, as everyone probably knows.
He doesn't have to play at the major league level to be protected, but they do have to protect him in that 40-man roster.
Okay.
So he's not available to another team.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's like 70-something guys that are Rule 5 eligible in the minor leagues right now. I think Northside Bound has like a full list, and it's pretty hefty. And obviously, not all of them are going to even get taken in a Rule 5 draft. Like it's never like that deep of a draft, and they're not all going to get protected, but they're also not all going to get taken. The ones that aren't protected, like I think again, it's just figuring out like is Nicholas Padilla a guy that we want to keep in the system and might need to protect to go going forward. Like that's. To me, that's just more of what it is than any kind of concern over bringing Killian or Wesneski up. I think there's definitely a chance you see either or both of them up before the end of the year. Just kind of remains to be seen on that. 6 weeks. They could get a couple. I mean, Killian's already had 2 cups of coffee in the majors. Wisniewski could certainly get his own at some point, but we're gonna go back to it, Luke. They're exploring. They're exploring.
What did they talk about after the game? What was kind of the theme? Did anybody bring up why Franmil came in the game? I did not like. I didn't
Luke
like
was
coming in to pinch hit. I thought it was BS. You're up 13-3 on the road, and you're trying to reach 700. You don't bring in the guy to get a lame home run on the road. It's weak. It's weak sauce.
No, that wasn't really talked about. I mean, it was just kind of, the starting pitching had been on a roll for a while. It had been one of the better pitching or starting rotations in the entire month in the major leagues. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but ERA was in the lower part of the majors, and I just think it was kind of one of these days that you run it. Like, you held the Cardinals down, who were I think in August were the best hitting team in the majors.
Right.
You held them down to 1 run in the first 2 games. Like, someone was going to have to give. I know Sampson wasn't happy with his start. It was one of those games where the Cardinals were hot coming in, and they kind of found that power stroke in the 4th inning. Like, it was going to happen. I think we knew they weren't going to be a 1-run team the whole series. It just kind of got out of hand. We didn't talk about Franmil though. Maybe.
Yeah, I like that David Ross put in his biggest guy on the mound. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna Pujols? Okay, we're gonna put our biggest guy on the mound. You gonna charge Franmil?"
Yeah.
And then he threw 90.
He had 90 to strike out Paul DeJong. And it was like, I like that better than Schwindel. Was it 39 mile per hour EPIS or something like that? Getting taken out by Higashioka in New York. Like, he was pumping it.
He was throwing pitches, man. Like, he looked like he knew what he was doing out there. So, hey, maybe we've 2-way. Let's get him transition, right? Like, what I mean, let him be a reliever. Let him play DH. Like, I don't care. Let's get weird last month of the year. But yeah, no. I was kind of with him in terms of that, but I also said that I thought maybe they did that because Espinosa hit Arenado, and then he hit someone else too, so he had some control problems. So I thought it was maybe their way of getting back at them. You said there was no talk of that at all? Like, ask anything about anyone getting his control or anything like that?
As far as Espinosa?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I think it was just he threw a lot of pitches, a lot of innings. He ended up throwing 66 pitches today, trying to kind of cover some innings for a bullpen, and still got like 5 or 6 more games to play just this week alone. I think it's 5. And I will be at all of them. I think it was just, it wasn't from talked about, or it wasn't from RC Dub in the press box. It looked like it was, I think one of those was on an 0-2 count, or whatever.
Yeah, Pujols had him on an 0, or no, Arenado.
0-2.
Yeah, well,
I think Arenado. Yeah, I think Arenado got
Arenado was on 0-2. But the way he reacted, like, I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow. I think they're gonna do something. That's just me. I know how that organization works.
I agree. I think there's going to be fireworks before the series is over.
Yeah.
I don't think either team kind of liked the way it finished up tonight.
No.
I could be wrong.
And that's part of the rivalry, and I'm okay with that. But I also,
I just keep marching Franmil out there.
Yeah.
You want to charge him out?
I'm not an unwritten rules guy, so that's why I'm looking forward to the next rant.
That would be so funny. Yeah, keep putting Franmil on the mound as your intimidator. Yeah, you want to come at Franmil?
Farrell's supposed to start tomorrow. Sorry, guys, it's Franmil. He throws 90, and he'll knock 90? You on your ass.
Yeah,
6'5", 265. Yeah, you can't charge that.
No, there aren't too many people charging that.
Oh my God.
I do want to tell you guys about OWYN, which stands for Only What You Need. It's a 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you the nutrition that works as hard as you do. Their products are free of artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten, no dairy, easily digestible. I heard about it because Bears quarterback Justin Fields follows that all-important plant-based diet. Owen and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer, 20% off your first purchase at liveowen.com. That's liveowyn.com with the code CHGO20. Join me, Justin Fields, and Ryan Herrera. Try Owen, only what you need.
We were talking about Nolan Arenado. I don't want DMVR to like hate me, but like I am just gonna forever loathe the Colorado Rockies, man. Like you give them away and you send the Cardinals $50 million just so he can beat up on the NL Central. It disgusts me. This is the biggest fleece job in recent MLB history, maybe of the decade. The biggest fleece job. It's a bigger fleece job than what the White Sox did the Cubs with Cease and Eloy.
The $50 million is the crazy part.
They traded him, got some washing machines back, as in the Rockies got some washing machines back, and then sent $50 million, dude. $50 million.
Cody, I know you don't want to, but I mean, like, it's like you have to kind of give St. Louis props for doing that deal because any team should have tried to take that deal, and then like the Cardinals were the one that did. That was, we were talking.
No, the Rockies only talk. The Rockies only talk trade with the Cardinals in terms of like major trades.
Any team gets wind of that kind of trade, they should have just been hopping in trying to see what they could do. That was it was not good. It was not a good deal.
I am never going to
saying what a lot of Cubs fans didn't want to hear back in the day, saying they should have traded KB for Nolan when they had a chance.
That doesn't make any sense. There was like a rumor that like the Cubs were going to go after Nolan, but also keep Chris Bryant too.
Right? Yeah, that's likely.
But that lasted for like maybe a week or two. I got all giddy about it for like a couple weeks. We were in the middle of the pandemic, so I was like, whatever. Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear it, and probably certainly wouldn't after 2016, but turns out that Nolan is a better baseball player than Chris Bryant is.
I would say that he's just been able to stay healthy.
Yeah, which makes him a better, like all things.
Yeah.
Comparing everything. If I had to say who's a better baseball player, I'd have to say Nolan Arenado over Chris Bryant, and I would have to easily say Goldschmidt over Rizzo.
Yeah. For a good 5-year stretch, though, Chris Bryant was better than Nolan Arenado, in my opinion.
And they won the Cubs a World Series. So
yeah. But I will say this: Nolan Arenado has always been better defensively than Chris Bryant was. I just always thought Chris Bryant was the better hitter. So.
Speaking of winning,
who you got?
Did anyone win? Who you got?
I mean, it's another garbage game. Like
my guy had a.
Your guy had a hit.
My guy had a hit and a run
but
scored.
Mine and Luke's guys got taken out in like the 6th inning.
My guy was 0 for the day.
Yeah, it's got to be Cody.
So it's me.
I guess it's Cody by default, but it's a real soft one. It'd be like Pujols hitting 693.
Yeah.
Soft. Only at Wrigley.
Should be a half point.
Yeah, I would like to give a half point. I mean, it's a win, but it's a soft win.
A win is a win, Stucky. You were trying to win with like 6 guys the other day.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
I say game
one.
You picked
Game one, I did have the Assad Rucker combo is what I asked for in the morning. It didn't go through in our Slack channel. I don't know if I had a Wi-Fi mix-up or if my Wi-Fi broke down. I had something talking about Bluetooth was holding up for a day or something. I don't know what that was, but I tried to put through Assad Rucker combo is what I was calling for game one. And as it turns out, I'm sure they talked a lot about Assad after the game, Ryan, and Rucker, because after game one, David Ross was very happy with both of those gentlemen.
Oh my gosh. Look at where is it Joel who always says it? I need Joel to say the line in the chat. He knows what I'm talking about, and whenever he says it, we can read it. I just want to say now that the score is 21-17 to 14 to 1 to 1. Oh, and Maverick has one too. And Rachel.
Maverick has one. Oh, yeah.
Maverick does have one.
4 people have one.
So who doesn't?
Jared and Joey.
Joey doesn't have one yet. Yeah. He's changed up. Joey is now taking Higgins the rest of the season.
Joey's taking Higgins the rest of the season. So right on cue, he struck out a few times tonight, I'm pretty sure.
Ryan, how about your guy Madrigal again?
What'd you say in the Slack? Nikki Bunnies? Nikki Hops or something?
When he got up and got that. Hold on, I got the list.
Nikki Hops.
It was Nikki Hops, Nikki Bunnies, Nikki Vertical. Yeah, there you go.
Joey says, I will soon have one.
No, but he's hitting. What
2 hits tonight, right?
The stats. Yeah, 2 hits. Also got on with a walk. He has, what is it, in August? Well, I mean, in August, but since he came off the IL, I think it was August 4th. Hitting 321, 406 on base percentage. Like, this is kind of the guy the Cubs were expecting, right? A guy that can get on base at a good clip, a guy that hits well into the threes. Like, now that he's kind of fully healthy, like, this is what they want. This is what they were hoping they were getting when they traded for him last year.
Yeah, he's put together quality at bats too. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like he's walked a little bit more than we expected. Which would be
a good thing if he can.
That's my thing, is like, if he can walk more, and if that on base is 380 or higher, then yeah, you got yourself a really, really solid, potential leadoff hitter next year. I could sit here and complain about the lack of defensive versatility, but I mean, it's not every day you find a guy like that.
No, and the versatility's they've got I personally believe they have enough guys with versatility. I do want certain guys to play certain positions. I'm not anybody can play any position type thing. I am for the fact that Chris Bryant could play multiple. I love that Morel plays a couple different spots. Mm-hmm. I also want to see a guy be so good that they don't want to move him off that position.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get it.
Like, I don't need Nico to play anywhere other than short right now.
We said it way too many times at this point. Just Madrigal still hasn't proven enough to me to say that, we don't need to go get one of those all-star infielders in the free agent market this year. But if you do, and he keeps playing like this, then you're going to be looking for a guy at third base, in my opinion. Like whether it's Correa, you're going to be asking him to play third.
Manny Machado moved around.
Yeah, right.
Well, guys will move around.
That's why the DH position helps so much too, because you get a guy as a shortstop. He can move over to short, or short and third with Nico. But then there might be days where Nick goes and DHs and Nico moves over to second, and whoever that's why. And then having versatility in your defensive guys, but also having that DH, that opens up a lot of like just potential lineup construction. Not issues. The opposite of issues. Like those is going to help the lineup construction every day, because you always have that one extra spot that if you can't find a guy spot on the field, you still are able to get him in the lineup. Like, I think that's, again, having more good players is a good problem to have, and then
that's true.
Got to figure out what you got to do.
Kind of figure it out. I just don't want the Cubs to put themselves in this like gigantic log jam to where it kind of hurts development. Like, I don't want to use him as an example because he didn't pan out anyway, but a lot of people used to say that about Albert Almora, and like even people said that about Ian Happ, and maybe that's why it took him longer to develop. I don't want to assume that will happen to some of these other guys that are going to be coming through the pipeline, but it's something that I think about because I just don't want the Cubs to fuck this up. So that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, Madrigal, I'm just glad that he's finally performing because it was so bad, man. So
it's another chess piece.
If
he plays well, it's another chess piece. Stop worrying about where everybody's going to be. I know we all want to do it. I'm guilty as charged.
Absolutely.
But accumulate good baseball players.
Do we want to talk about the biggest news that happened at Wrigley Field tonight?
Yeah. Yep.
The fight.
Yep. We're
going
to wrap it up right after this, Ryan. We got to talk about the fight. You're Dean Crawley.
I'm tired. I've been here for almost 13 hours.
Cameraman Dean Crawley has the video in the bleachers at Wrigley.
The guy gets pushed down like eight sets of bleachers. Like, it's
I think he gets kicked.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Crawley's Cubs is the Twitter handle for
at Crawley's Cubs on Twitter. If you don't know who that is and you must not be on
And
Twitter.
yeah, the guy got kicked, and it looks like he falls back. Honestly, I'm a little uncomfortable watching it because I keep thinking this guy's going to smoke his head on one of those bleachers or crack his neck or like.
Yeah. As someone who sits out there all the time, like those things aren't soft. You know what I mean?
No.
So like,
See,
I'm glad he was able to get up, or else that could have been so much worse.
Somebody got up with a cut over his eye.
Yeah.
That's what we always talk about. Is like the left and right field bleachers. There's so much tension going on that like things break out. The center field bleachers it's just vibes there. Everyone's just vibing in center field.
You're a center field guy?
I don't go in the bleachers.
No, you're a press box guy now, but yeah, center field.
He's a behind home plate guy.
Yeah.
I liked going all over the field. I liked going all over the park. It was always a good time wherever I was sitting at the Federal Landmark.
I like Joel's comment. He says Rachel saw a comeback win, a blowout, a bleacher fight. She got a full Cubs experience.
That's
Shout
right.
out to her.
Yep. All right, we got to get Ryan home, and we got to get us out of this heat. Cubs split a doubleheader with the Cardinals. The first game was great. They shut out St. Louis. Second game doesn't matter other than Franmil hit Pujols at the end of the game, and we'll see if there's any carryover to that the rest of the series, right?
Absolutely. Also, final update. Final update. Yadi Molina is hitting 179 since he blocked me on Instagram. Good night.
Take that. Stole that from Cap. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs postgame show presented by PointsBet. We'll see you back here after the game on Wednesday. Fly the W. Did I get it in?
I think so, yeah.